I thought it would be useful to make a video about the setup of my bike. This is obviously my Africa Twin, which has just completed 17,000 kilometers across the States off-road, and then back through Canada from BC to the east coast here in Montreal. And I thought I'd go through how I packed it and how it's set up. Firstly, the bike itself is a 2016 DCT Africa Twin, which is a 1000cc adventure bike. Absolutely fantastic, but I can cover that in something else. I added the protection that you see here, the center stand bar protectors, these metal things, and some other bits like this funny little plastic screen which was gifted to me by a lovely man called Matt in Arkansas. All of this stuff has been useful because I dropped the bike, which is kind of expected. There's just a few little scuffs on the handbar, the hand guards. The cockpit, there's a Zumo here, which is the GPS above on a standard bar that's on the bike, which has been super useful. It's like a blunt hammer, the Zumo. It tells you which direction to go, and that's about it. This phone cover holder I got at REI, which cost me $25. I was very impressed with that. I just drilled a hole in it here so that I could mount it, because on a bicycle you mount it from the back, but the phone just sits in there, and I cut a gap out the bottom so that I can get to the charging port. It was very useful to have the phone there. I installed a double USB socket here, which has a little rubber cover that covers it, to charge the phone and any other bits, like my Bluetooth helmet thing, which I attached to Velcro here and then plugged into the USB socket, and this, which is my torch. It's actually a bike light, which has a USB thing in the back. The roll chart holder, one of Sam Carrero's favorites. I got that from Sam. That's pretty much it for the cockpit. The pannier system is a Mosko Moto Reckless 80, the new 2016 version, which is version 2. It's a really fantastic design, because you can just slide these dry bags in and take them out very quickly when you're stopping for camping or whatever. The basic setup is that this side has camping stuff in it and tools on that side. There's also a tube in there, and you can see my shoe poking up there. I'll take those out and do them individually. The center has clothes in it pretty much, and toiletry stuff and wet weather gear. Then there are, let's undo this, there are maps on the back in the map pocket, and tent poles here in this part, and then in the desert and Oregon parts of the trail I had to have an extra gas can here, and that I attached using these rock straps. One went around this way and the other one around this way onto the back part of the rack. Slightly unusually, there's my umbrella. I'll come to that later. And the other pocket has the temporary cover, which is a crappy $10 cover, and fuel bottle, and a tube. So let's take this out. I'll show you. There's the shoe stuck in there. Unclip these, and then just slide the bag out here. can see there's the dry bag, and it's got a nice little window in it, which, as well as being able to see stuff inside the bag, you can actually see what's inside the bag because it lets light in. So there we have a Thermarest pillow. That was very useful actually. I didn't want it, but Anne insisted that I have it. Luckily, she insisted I had a few things which I used. That's the fly sheet for my tent. That is the mattress and the ground sheet and the tent itself. And then my sleeping bag. That's everything in that pannier. In this back bag here, chain lube, rag and helmet bits and bobs, then a brake parts, it's brake cleaner which I needed for my front brake because my bike got covered in oil. That's another story, not the bike's fault. Some tape and my homemade tool roll, which has a whole load of tools in it. That's everything from there. Now this thing they call the beaver tail contains Leatherman. There was a head torch in there, but that soon disappeared because I lost it. That's something for Anne. Here is a battery, which a large capacity USB battery, which I used to charge my InReach, the GPS locator, from a USB socket that I installed under the seat, so it charged there during the day. And this is all the cables for all the various devices, including a mains charger, a wall socket charger. All that I would put in this plastic bag here whenever I was camping. This is a spare visor or shield, helmet shield, because I mainly used a mirrored one. Clothes bag, velcroed on. See what's in there. Doing this one-handed is kind of challenging. There is a warm top, waterproofs, neck warmer, waterproof gloves. That is my toiletries and stinky clothes, and another bag. This is included in the Mosko system. That is my clothes, not very many clothes. In here is an iPad which survived in the bottom of the Mosko system, and then a whole load of maps in the bottom of there, and a cable. This is a cable for charging the iPad. That's that one. There's a little pocket up here with my paperwork in it when I got stopped by the cops. This is the tent poles, which, doing this one-handed again, is not the easiest thing. I discovered that the tent poles actually slipped sideways before I had the genius idea of putting the pegs in the middle, so it can't move side to side. That's the whole tent. Map pocket here with I always kept a large scale state map or several states here, and then the TAT maps here, because well, when there wasn't a fuel can here, you can just take this off, rip it out and check through the maps. This side we've got shoe again, put that over there, dirty socks, this pannier, which is the food pannier, which contains, let's see, snacks. These snacks were given to me by some really lovely people that I had dinner with at an RV park. That's the dry bag that had the iPad in it, my towel. That towel normally lived in my toiletries bag, GoPro stuff. Amazing amount of stuff that you need for a GoPro actually. GoPro bag. That's my Sea to Summit pot, which is an amazing thing. Goggles. This is a siphon pipe, which did live in my tool pocket, but that space got taken up by that brake parts cleaner over there. More GoPro rubbish. This is a Sven saw, which was given to me by Scott at the 3-Step Ranch, because I was very worried about trees in Oregon, and quite rightly worried about trees in Oregon because there were a lot of trees over the trail. So this is a bow saw, which is very useful. It's a random t-shirt. And then more stuff in here. There is food bag, which I also used as a bear hang bag. So in here there is rope for bear hanging this bag that had all the food in it. In fact, this whole bag I left away from the rest of the gear that I took because it had all the food in it. More snacks, more maps, and I think the rest of it is filled with more maps. A lot of maps. I sent a lot of maps back actually. That is a Optimus stove, which I fell on and crushed. You can probably see it's not quite as round as it used to be. Basically, I'm not going to take it out because I can't. Oval shape, and randomly, I should have given this back to Adam. That is gas for his stove. And at the bottom is that is present for Anne, and a survival blanket. I think that's everything in there. In this pocket is the fuel for the stove, which is also gasoline, petrol for the it's kind of an extra litre for the bike, and the cover for the cover, cap for the bottle, and a spare rear tube. The front tube is tucked underneath here. That's just zip tied to the bike's rack here. And then the pièce de résistance is my umbrella, which I started with a KTM umbrella, and then Ray and Anne from Salida in Colorado insisted that they send me a amazing Honda racing umbrella, which is fantastic. Let's get it out. There you go. Look at that. So that's the all the stuff that I took with me. I can go through my kit later, and of course my wonderful bike at another point. Fantastic machine.